Hey, everybody. This episode of Our Kids Play Hockey is brought to you by our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena. Look, we all want our kids to succeed in hockey, but let's face it, finding training that's both effective and enjoyable can be a real challenge, and not to mention expensive and a total drain on time, especially if you have to drive to the rink, pay a private instructor. There's so many reasons that money gets spent on this game. But that's where NHL Sense Arena steps in. It's a virtual reality training game that brings the rink into your home that takes off-ice training to a new reality. It's designed to improve hockey sense and IQ, something that's lacking majorly in the game today for both players and goalies. And you get unlimited access to over 100 drills and training plans from top coaches and players that can be played anytime, anywhere, with drills approved by USA Hockey player and goalie development directors. Look, improving mental hockey skills at home has really never been more fun, and any hockey player that uses this is going to have a blast. All right. I've used this before on my own, and it feels like you're so immersed in an arena, you sometimes forget you have a headset on. And again, it's not being on the ice, but it allows you to work on some of these skill sets like scanning, as I said before, hockey IQ, looking around the rink, making the right plays, that getting those repetitions in now as a hockey player are super important for your development. So NHL Sense Arena is giving all the listeners an exclusive offer for $50 off an annual plan when you use our code Hockey Never Stops at checkout. Again, that's Hockey Never Stops. All you got to do is go to hockey.sensearena.com. Again, that's hockey.sensearena.com. Use the code Hockey Never Stops, and you'll save $50 on your annual plan of NHL Sense Arena. Make sure to check that out and enjoy this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey. Hello, hockey friends and families around the world, and welcome to another edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. This is going to be our first kind of update episode. We got a call not too long ago from our friend Martin Negron, who you may remember was on the show over a year ago. He had invented with his father a thing called Duzter Armor, which was an underlaying performance apparel for young hockey players, for youth hockey players, and he had put cut-resistant technology on the arms and on the neck, and we'll go over it again. Again, I have to reiterate this right at the start. This is not an ad in any way. We had him on. He's a young entrepreneur. He's in the game. He's doing this with his dad. It's a great story. We'll reference the episode. We'll give you a link if you haven't heard it. The reason we brought him back on today is because he sent me a letter from the NHL. I'm going to read this verbatim from here. It says, "The equipment has received clearance from the NHL for use in NHL games." I'm holding it up. It's got the official NHL seal along with several signatures from prominent former NHL players and people at the league, because we need to recant this entire journey today, Martin. First off, congratulations on getting NHL clearance. It's a huge deal. We are really excited to have you back on today and really just discuss the last year of your life. You've grown, the company's grown, the equipment's grown. Let's talk about Duzter Armor and Duzter.com and just how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, thank you for that. In the last year, Duzter's grown a lot. We've added junior sizes now to the shirts and the pants. We've grown both in social media, just growth around the country in Duzter hockey, and we've been in more pro shops over the winter. We went up to Minnesota for the Let's Play Hockey Expo. So over last year, the business has been growing, and we've been adding more sizes.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see you out in the marketplace. And, again, for those of you listening, maybe who haven't heard the original episode, this whole idea came up. A young player unfortunately lost his life after being cut by a skate on the neck. And Martin and his father, also named Martin, got together and said, we can create a solution for this. And we just loved that you did that, because it shows, again, that aside from playing the game of hockey, there are so many ways to be involved. And not only did you get involved, you're learning about business, you're learning about apparel, and you're providing a solution for a lot of kids and a lot of parents that can protect their kids. So again, with not going through the whole journey again, but can you talk to me about, has your mission changed? Has it been the same? Have you gotten feedback from people about how this has helped them?
Our mission has been the same since the start. We want to prevent cut injuries, and more recently, we have received feedback of people who bought it, people who've been touched by the blade, and there have been people that bought it after having injuries. So that's definitely happened. And once again, to the goal wise, it's really just to prevent it. That's why for the juniors, we added the arm when it's slightly bigger because of the gap between your glove and the elbow pad because we don't want it to happen.
Right, absolutely. And like I said, the cut resistant technology is right there over the wrist. It's right there over the neck. I know people that wear it personally. It's very comfortable. It's a great solution to not having to wear one of those really annoying neck guards that Mike, I don't think I've ever met a youth hockey player ever that wants to wear that neck guard, right? Have you ever met somebody who's, I just love my neck guard. It's so comfortable.
And how many do you buy a year? Because you lose them every weekend,
Right.
But I think the fact that it's attached. I mean, I share Martin's link. I think with every little junior ranger that I work with that's sliding around with their skates in the air in practice. I'm like, Mom, Dad, this is you. This is like a must-have, undergarment. You're gonna buy them anyway, right? That's what's so great about the product is they're all these kids are buying these undergarments anyway. So why don't you buy the one that gives you the most protection?
Right.
I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. So to me, it's like, well, if you're going to buy, a lightweight, comfortable shirt, then get the one that's going to be giving you the most protective covering. Great. I mean, again, I know it's not a commercial, but the fact is, it's a great. When you look around, it's a great price. I shared on social media a young lady, a goalie that was in one of my junior ranger camps in Montclair. And I look over and she's wearing the Duzter shirt with the neck guard attached to it and got the arm guards. And I, kind of did my own little field test. I'm like, so do you really like this thing? And she goes, I love it. It's so comfortable. I wear it all the time. Like she goes, I wear it like just normally going to the rink. So it's not one of those, see a lot of kids. It's like it's a burdensome thing to put on. This is just a comfortable shirt. So kudos to you guys and your family for, not only seeing the need, but getting this thing produced and on the backs of and necks of all these all these youth hockey players. I think it's awesome.
We should also note for Martin that it's not just the top, right? It's the bottoms too. There's a kind of a Jack and Jill cup type scenario where the cut resistant technology goes over the Achilles. Again, my son Martin, I haven't told you, he's a goaltender. When we started wearing these, he was only skating out, but as a goaltender, that's another area that is kind of, out there sometimes. A player could easily step on the back of his pad. So it's safe in there as well. I also want to reiterate, this is kind of a commercial, but it's important for people to know, like, we were not paid. That's what we had to say. We were not paid to do this. We're just excited for you, Martin, because, Mike made this point, and this is what I really want the audience to take away. I'm a business owner. Mike's a business owner. There are plenty of people out there that have a great idea, but it stops there. They have the idea and that's it. And I can't tell you in my own line of work how many times people say to me, and nothing negative about it, but just, oh, I had that idea a long time ago. And it's like, I believe you, but did you do anything with it? Right? You did something with it. And I'm sure, Martin, you were told many times, like, who's going to buy that? No one's going to need that, right? Like, why pursue that? And you're kind of changing the game a little bit of performance where Mike said it too. The money you save in lost neck guards alone might actually justify the purchase of one of these things. And they look cool. Like my son and daughter have never once said to me, I don't want to wear that. It looks lame.
And just a point too, and Martin can explain the build on these a little bit better probably, but there's no gapping either. It's a straight out fit. Like, so you don't get the gap. Like, even they have wrist guards you can buy that you can wear, but then there's a gap between the elbow and the wrist. There's gap. Like his shirts, you put them on and your fingers go in them. Like, so it's like almost like a it covers all, so they don't ride up. Which is really cool because for little kids, if you ever see them, they're on the ice, they're adjusting their elbow pads and they're moving all the time. And also all you do is see skin. Like, I think I even posted something over the summer. Like, I saw one of the kids in the camp and they wear no socks, or they wear like the real short socks in their skates. And I'm like, do you see all that skin? Like, that gives me so much anxiety, when I can see it, when I can see an Achilles tendon or a, or I could see just like the bone sitting there. I'm like, just cover that thing up. And if you could do it with a Kevlar type material that feels good on your legs and actually protects you. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's, it's one of those products that so many parents don't get until after it's too late to get it. Like, oh, now I got it because I got cut, or I almost got cut, or my kid scraped his leg and now I see I need it. And every kid that comes into my office, like that I do when I do their skates, or they come in for a fitting, I'm like, this is the go-to piece of equipment you have to have, because it just doesn't come with your normal, like, there is no other protection for these type of cuts.
So,
Yeah, there
go ahead,
really
Martin.
isn't.
Yeah.
I just want to thank both Lee and Mike for what you're saying. And I have the pants right here for the leg. This gap is really from the skates to your knee pads because it is a lot of space. Socks don't do enough, and you could have cut resistant socks, and there's still going to be a little gap. So that's why we have the ones on the legs. And also, like a lot of other pants for the socks, you don't need clear tape unless it's preference. And for the shirt, also how you mentioned, it does have the cut resistant with the arm. And one reason why this is important is because when you have this on, it covers the gap between your gloves and your elbow pads, because that's what we target from the arm side. And then the neck is fully adjustable, and it's on the shirt, as you can see in the back. And this is something that like you said, I've never really complained on myself about it. Sometimes I have it on, I don't realize it because it's not something that I consider tight at all. It's really comfortable.
Yeah, it really seamlessly works with the pads. Another thing we should talk about, Martin, is over the last year you've released a couple different designs, I would say, of this. Like when we interviewed you the first time, you just kind of had the prototype out of the main model, but since then you've released a red version that I think is being targeted towards girls, and then you've also released some performance wear. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the performance wear, it's the compression shirt is Duzter skin. It's a blue design instead of red, and it doesn't have the cut resistant or anything adjustable. It's really about sometimes in hockey camps, you're doing something off the ice. It's a quick change. We're also doing t-shirts, adjustable, well, not adjustable, but fit t-shirts. And we're also doing hoodies. I have one right now. We have the gray and the black. So apparel wise, we're starting to do the out of hockey market clothing too.
Yeah, it's just been really cool to see the expansion of this again, from an idea to prototype to making sales to now really being like a legit business in the space. And but I want you to share this too. Before we got on the air, you were telling me a story about you got a call from a player recently that they got some stitches and they invested in the product because as Mike said, it was after the fact, but they saw the need for it suddenly. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, that's been, sadly, that's been something common. I remember one time recently we received something from a grandfather that his family, they had a cut resistant. They didn't have it in their arm, cuts in their arms. And a lot of people have said that it happened where the skate touched them. It touched where the cut resistant was at. They already had it on and nothing happened. And you ask yourself what would happen without it.
Right.
So that's something we've been getting a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Again, anybody that's aspiring to have a business out there, problem solution. That is always the biggest part of any business working. You are solving a problem. If you have a great idea that solves a problem, you can follow this too. Martin, I also want to talk about, first off, remind everybody how old you are.
I'm 15, but I turn 16 in 2 weeks.
All right, so you're well, we'll say 15 3/4. Just I think you're still young enough we can do that. But 15 years old, you started this when you were 14, if I'm not mistaken, right? Maybe even a little younger.
14.
14. All right. So I'm impressing that to our audience that really you're never too young to start something like this. And also we love that you've been doing this with your dad. We know that the game is how you two bond, but can you talk for a few minutes about, over the last year? Again, in the original episode, we talked about how fun it was that you and your dad got to do this together, but you made like a legit business now, right? So how has that relationship evolved?
And the car rides to the games now, we're in away rinks, we're always going to have a set ready. I mean, recently we went to Los Angeles to audition for Shark Tank, and the LA Kings, they have their practice ring. So for fun, we went over and we had this shirts ready just to show the pro shops. That's something that we've been doing now when we have away games anywhere.
Love it.
And it really has worked, because in the DMV areas, a lot of the pro shops are the same owners by more than one location. So recently my friends have been telling me that they see it in stores I haven't been to. That's just because of ownership. But yeah, now when we're on the road with hockey, we always have one ready just to show off. And we've gone up to New Jersey to film videos on the Instagram weekly.
No, that's awesome. You're doing I call it the grunt work, right? The walking in stores and hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. That's the other side of the lesson here, right, Mike? That, one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to get your idea online. That's another big step. But to be able to walk into a store or walk up to somebody or contact the freaking NHL and say, hey, I've got something that I want you to see, that's a huge skill set, one that's needed.
Yeah, and just as importantly, this is a product that is needed by every youth hockey player that skates. It just is. And then I think it's just, you should research this, look at it, get it before it's too late, get it before you need it. And if you never have to test the cut resistance, you're the luckiest kid around. Just, right. That's a great thing to have. But it's just peace of mind. Like I talk about other pieces of equipment. It's one of those things you put on, don't think about it anymore. Like it's just you as a parent have done what you can to protect your child. Your child's in a comfortable piece of equipment that they get used to wearing. You'd see what Martin, the kids in your age group, like those 15, 16, 17, they don't want to wear any neck protection. Like it's not cool, right? So if you're wearing this when you're 5, 6, 7 years old and it's a comfortable piece of equipment and you grow with it, that's the best way to get into this type of protective gear. Listen, it wasn't that far away. It wasn't that long ago that kids your age didn't wear face masks playing. So it wasn't like that was only 30 years ago. So I think when you look at the protection of players and what's needed, I just think this is one of those products that the evolution has come, that this is a piece of protective gear we all need for our kids. Research it, go out and look at it, find the most comfortable ones. It's unbelievable that you've done this and kind of helped us all out by going through your own research and discovery of what the best product could be for and obviously it's working because you're selling, so that's great.
Thank you.
Is Gary Bettman wearing your shirt yet? That's what I want to know.
Might need to when he gives the cup out.
No, not yet. That would be interesting though.
Well, I'm going to reiterate. Go ahead, Martin. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. It's where I know we're working with an NHL team. It's not official yet, but we've currently reached out and they've responded back. So we'll see how that goes.
That is unbelievable. I was going to ask you what's next, right? Because I know there's a lot of ideas in the pipeline, and you're entering a really fun time in the timeline of a business right now, which is when you have the proof, right? Now you can start to think about how you want to expand. And for the audience listening, I can tell you just from knowing the family a bit, they're doing it the right way. They're being calculated. They're looking at things. They're doing risk management. I'm going to read this again. The equipment has received clearance from the NHL for use in NHL games. Now, what I want to talk about this real quick, Martin, because as of today, Duzter is not meant for NHL players. But I love from a standpoint of the kids, it's like, no, we got this cleared by the highest league in the land. So it's like another objection that cannot come your way now, right? So is this something you pursued? Is it something that you wanted to get? And just tell us the general, I don't like to ever ask, how do you feel? But it's pretty cool to get something with an NHL seal on it saying that it's good enough.
Yeah, it's something that we definitely wanted, because a lot of pro shops, and once again, it's been our first year. We're still rookies in this. Even if we have just one NHL hypothetically wearing our stuff, that'd be all we need. Seeing our product on the ice in the pro level, it's taken a while, right? But if it all works out, that'd be great, because it's great for us, but it's also great for the hockey community. If we have pros wearing cut resistant, then younger groups could see that this is actually something important. And this is something that they would eventually wear.
What about moderately successful adult league players like me?
It's still the same thing.
I'm teasing you, but
that guard better be really adjustable. But I think it's
no. I'm saying I could see a lot of adult league players wanting to use this product as well. But for right now, just bringing this back in, it was just a great idea that he had, Martin, for youth hockey players. We love that it's sprouted. We love seeing it around. And again, for the audience listening, we feel good for him. We wanted to share that with you. We know a lot of you listened to that last episode, and we want to celebrate are youth entrepreneurs, and we want to celebrate the young people in the game that are trying to make a difference aside from just on the ice, right? Because I think it's really important when it comes to identity and your hockey journey, to all the parents listening and any of the young people listening, that it's not just about your play on the ice that defines you, right? It's you can do a lot in this game that is not limited to being an ice hockey player. All right. Now, Martin is an ice hockey player. I'm still going to say it. You still are an ice hockey player. You play on a team. You're a good player. You played for Puerto Rico. We could talk about that for a second, but you're also trying to make a difference in the game. You saw a problem, you created a solution, and now you have a successful business. And before I keep gushing over you, I want to let everybody know again, it's Duzter.com, D-U-Z-T-E-R. It's Duzter with a Z, D-U-Z-T-E-R.com. Check it out. Again, I got to reiterate, we are not being paid to do this. We're just excited for our friend here, and we wanted to share that with you. If you're listening and you're a young entrepreneur and you have an idea, feel free to email us, team@ourkidsplayhockey.com. We might as well highlight you as well. But Martin, yeah, one last question. I did want to talk about, you're involved with the Puerto Rican Ice Hockey Association, which has taken leaps and bounds itself over the last year. Tell us a little bit about what it's like to, be able to put a Puerto Rico jersey on, and just how that's been part of your journey as well.
Yeah, that was it's been something nice, right? A year ago was when we went down to Florida for the LATAM, and over April I was able to wear it again for Chicago. It was really special because that's something before even Dust, or something I wouldn't imagine, right? Especially when I started playing hockey, and seeing how the pre-ha has grown in general is really impressive. Wearing the jersey is nice, and seeing what they've been able to do, how they're growing, is another nice thing. And speaking about from when we went to Florida, when we were in pre-ha, it was also the Panthers Pro Shop was the first pro shop that bought into Duzter. So that was also another thing from that.
Yeah, no, it's providing opportunities. That's cool. So Martin, I'll close this whole thing out by just asking you, with whatever you can talk about, because now you've entered the secret side of your business too, where you have secrets you can't tell, but just what's next for you, or that you can talk about, or what are you hoping to see Duzter do over the next year when we'll inevitably have you back on again for a 2-year update?
Well, the next, always for next is growth. Is we really want to grow in the hockey community, and that's something that our socials, we've been posting 2 times a week on Instagram and TikTok, just to grow for hockey families to see what we are, right? Obviously we mentioned the NHL team, and it's trying to get out of the DMV area, try to get out of the East Coast and expand more to the West Coast, because there's hockey all around the country, and we're also trying to get into Canada. We have received orders out of the United States, out of North America, like Japan and Europe. So what's next is really just growth. We're trying to do a lot of things to grow Duzter and learn. We want people to learn why Duzter's a hockey business.
That's awesome. Well, I hope our audience shows you the power of the size of our audience by checking you out, because you really have created something that for parents creates a peace of mind. It's comfortable for the players. I mean, it's really cool what you've made, man. I'm not just saying that to be nice. I always cheer for people that want to innovate the game, and I really think you've done this. I haven't seen anything else out there like that. Mike, any final words before I close it out?
No, congratulations. I'm looking forward. I'm on the Duzter site right now at the shop app, so ready to press send. Got to get a couple of kids here that I think would be beneficial for all this stuff. Great.
There you go. Well, Martin Negron, appreciate you so much, buddy. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for this little micro edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Remember, you can check it out, duzterhockey.com, DUZTER.com, and just check out their offer. If anything, just check it out. Take a look and see if it's something right for your family. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can listen to all of the episodes of Our Kids Play Hockey, or The Ride to the Rink, or Our Kids Play Goalie, or find that other episode we did with Martin over a year ago when he was just getting the business started at ourkidsplayhockey.com. And if you've got an invention or a business, or you're a young entrepreneur and you want to share it and it's developed and ready to go, email us, team@ourkidsplayhockey.com. Let us know what you're working on. We'd love to help promote anybody under the age of 18 that's working on a hockey product. But for Mike Benelli, for Martin Negron, I'm Lee Elias. We'll see you next time on Our Kids Play Hockey. Take care, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Make sure to like and subscribe right now if you found value wherever you're listening, whether it's a podcast network, a social media network, or our website, ourkidsplayhockey.com. Also, make sure to check out our children's book, When Hockey Stops, at whenhockeystops.com. It's a book that helps children deal with adversity in the game and in life. We're very proud of it. But thanks so much for listening to this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey, and we'll see you on the next episode.